Well, hey, Boston's got to show that they can bounce back. But one thing I do want to hit on the Atlantic, though, your thoughts on Buffalo, Ottawa, Detroit. 3 teams that are moving up, they're raising the floor of the Atlantic Division. Any one of those, who's the best bet to actually make it into the playoffs and maybe supplant a Boston?
I'm taking Buffalo, man. I think they've got the talent, the firepower. They're hungry. The expectations are there. They're gelling. So I'm taking Buffalo in that group.
I like Buffalo as well, especially with their 2 big defensemen who just got big contracts, Dahlin and Power. I mean, they got a good young lineup, man. I think it's Buffalo.
All right. All right. I would agree, but I think look out for Detroit. They've got a lot of veterans on that. There's some questions on that roster, but when you're talking about Tajadaba Hega, kuch talent Hega, Dylan Larkin ne bhi lambe contract eda khliya, so maybe something going on there too. But
Ottawa bhi dekh lo, utte bhi aasa ummeedaं zyada hegiyan, so je nahi pahunche ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਨੌਕਰੀ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਖਤਰੇ 'ਚ ਪੈ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ
ਪਰ ਆਟਵਾ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਸਾਲ ਵੀ ਆਸਾਂ ਉਮੀਦਾਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ
ਚਲੋ ਪਰ ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਐਟਲਾਂਟਿਕ ਹੁਣ ਮੇਰੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਔਖੀ ਡਿਵੀਜ਼ਨ ਆ ਲੀਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੈਸੀਫਿਕ ਡਿਵੀਜ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਹੁਣ ਔਖੀ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਆ ਪਰ ਉਦਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਮੁਕਾਬਲਾ ਫਰਸਟ ਗੇਮ we're doing tonight is Minnesota Toronto. Shout out also to Minnesota Wild Punjabi player Jajad Kheda. He's with the Iowa Wild right now in the AHL, but he won't be featuring tonight for Minnesota, but he's in the system, so shout out to him. Now, second game that we're doing is the Edmonton Oilers versus the Vancouver Canucks. And we'll get into this in our pregame show when we go on air on Omni Television.
Part 2.
Part 1 was a horror story for the Edmonton Oilers. Don't even movie. But on that game, how scary of a start will it be for the Vancouver Canucks? Because I imagine Edmonton is ticked off. They're angry after getting embarrassed, spanked.
Oh, you know, Draisaitl and company are pissed.
They're going to come out.
So they're coming out guns blazing.
They are. They could score 4 goals in the first period. Anything can happen in this one.
Yeah, and Randeep, do we know who's starting goal tonight for Vancouver?
Casey DeSmith. Casey DeSmith's getting the start, and Stuart Skinner on the other side for the Edmonton Oilers. Skinner played in Game 1 as he was Jack Campbell was pulled. So this is an opportunity for Skinner to kind of write that story. He allowed 4 goals himself in that game. But
it's always tough coming off the bench, though. Skinner probably should have started that game.
The team didn't really have that much juice in their own game, so you can't blame the goalie that much.
But I mean, either way, who starts 8-1, unacceptable.
That was embarrassing.
They're angry. Connor McDavid's comments after, amazing to see that. He goes, what are these guys doing? They're putting out the first power play unit against us. It's third period. The game's over. He's a little pissed off. You don't want to get on the guy's bad side.
All right, so...
That's a little whiny, too, though. Like, come on, man. Just play the game. You're losing. Big deal. Deal with it.
Well,
yeah, but that's the way. He's the captain. He's going to motivate. He's got to take the attention away from his team. I get the play there.
I get the play,
I get the play. Oh, speaking of Connor, though, he picks up 1 assist on that goal, the lone goal that Edmonton scored. Put up 153 last season.
He should get 200 this season.
Sidney Crosby. Hey, Sidney Crosby said
200.
Sidney Crosby said that he could put up 170 this year. What does Connor do this year?
I mean, 17 more points. That's doable. I think he can get more than 60 goals.
I mean, anything is possible with this guy. Anything can happen. I'm going to kind of take a different angle here. I think Draisaitl is going to be neck and neck in terms of points this year. So, and you know, he at some point you have to get exhausted and run out of energy. How long can this guy keep going to 150, 120 points?
I think he's actually going to have a bit of a drop-off this year.
Okay.
Not a lot,
Who
but
bets the under on anything?
Just a little bit.
Gopi is that guy that bets the under. There's no fun in that, man.
It could be 152, but I think it's going to be a little bit under.
I don't know. Debbie Downer over here. Debbie Downer over here.
Somebody has to do it.
All right.
It's not easy being the bad guy.
On that front, we're going to actually check in with our guys right now. With the commentary team on Hockey Night in Canada, Punjabi, we're going to Mantat Pandal and Harpreet Pandey.
Thanks, Randeep. Appreciate that. Lots of banter going on with the boys on the panel today. I want to start off with probably the hottest take of the, you could say the off season. So we did our Stanley Cup predictions. All 5 of us picked 5 different Cup winners, which is nice because there's been times I think in the past we've all kind of had too safe of a pick. But तू तो जाके Winnipeg Jets ਨੂੰ ਚੁਣ ਲਿਆ ਤੂੰ ਸੋਚਦਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ Stanley Cup Jets ਜਾਣਾ that's very bold because that's a team that might not even make the playoffs this year so explain yourself Harp
I will ਤੇ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਨਮਸਕਾਰ ਆਦਾਬ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰੀ ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ ਦਰਸ਼ਕ ਵੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ pre-game segment so the reason why I went with Winnipeg one because Raja wouldn't let me go with Arizona. That's who I really wanted to go with.
You thought the Arizona Coyotes were going to win the Stanley Cup?
Secondly, it's a prediction, right? And we're having a preseason before regular. Hold on, we're having these predictions before regular season. Come on, man.
It has to have some credibility.
Let's wait till. Let's wait till before.
Here are all
it
the
is.
picks. David picks Carolina. That's a good pick. They're a
Okay.
strong team. Gopi picks the Avalanche. Again, recent Cup winner. Randeep, the defending Cup champs. Vegas. I picked Dallas. All these teams were literally conference finalists last year, except for Colorado, but they won the Cup the year before. And then you go way off the board. A team that hasn't even made the Cup final.
You're not letting me explain. Let me explain. Okay. Back in 2017, before regular season game number 1, I picked Penguins to repeat. And not only repeat, but to defeat the Nashville Predators in the final.
So that was the 6 years ago.
And that was a check mark. So after that, I don't really care if I get one right or wrong. I have that one. Nobody can take that one away.
That's fair.
So if I pick Winnipeg, it's okay. They were the 8th seed in the West. They got in. Yes, they're a long shot. But if I get right, then it looks really good. But if I'm wrong, I could care less.
That's an interesting description. Basically, I've been right once. I don't care if I'm ever right ever again. The TLDR.
You know what? You're picking the winner, and that's it. Like, come on, pick it against a finalist. Right? Come on, make it tougher.
Very, very bold. Randeep, what do you think?
I don't buy that argument. Pick a team. Pick a team. Arizona, I would have loved if Harp would pick Arizona.
I'm sorry. I also want to thank our producer for finding the creepiest picture of me and putting it up there. Thank you, Raja Shergill. Shout out.
We weren't going to say anything, but hey. You said it yourself.
But you know what? It's okay. I'll still take the Carolina bet. And, thanks, Raja.
There we go.
That picture was still less questionable than Harp's pick.
Can we zoom into Tack? I want to see a little bit close up shot.
Yeah. You know what?
All right.
I got to share that in some groups with the family.
Okay, the picture might be questionable, but the pick, I think, is a pretty good one. Carolina,
pick is good.
They've been kind of teasing in the playoffs in the regular season.
Yeah.
And
Randeep, the injuries last year, that really hit them hard because those are key guys that are offensive guys, two-way guys, playoff guys that you needed in your lineup. Right?
All right, no Landeskog for the Colorado Avalanche.
Yep.
You still got them winning the Cup, though.
I still got them because they had some injuries last year going into the playoffs as well. It's like they always do. Like McKinnon is always hurt. So I think this is the year they finally stay healthy and they take the
and
cup again,
I don't buy this whole, you don't need such a great goalie now. I know Colorado's done it, and they've got there, but look how deep that team and that defense was. Like the Oilers, comparing them to that, I don't think they're as deep as Colorado was.
Well, that's why I picked Vegas, though. Who have they lost from their roster? Teddy Bluger?
Yeah.
He wasn't even playing in the playoffs, right? He's a good player, don't get me wrong, but that's how deep this team is. Their defense is still solid. So for me, I look at Vegas saying, this is a team that's built for the playoffs. If they can stay healthy, they have a very good chance
For
of
me,
repeating.
it was Colorado 1A, Vegas 1B, because Logan Thompson's back too. So they got Aiden Hill and Thompson in net. So Vegas is going to be tough to beat, man.
All right. Okay. So we got that. Where are the Canadian teams at? We haven't talked really about the Canadian teams. The ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੈਸਟ ਕੋਸਟ 'ਚ because ਇੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕਹਾਣੀ ਆ ਵੈਨਕੂਵਰ ਕਨਕਸ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵਧੀਆ ਜਾਂ ਇੰਟਰਸਟਿੰਗ ਹੋਵੇ ਇਸ ਸਾਲ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਪਲੇਆਫ 'ਚ ਪਹੁੰਚਣਗੇ ਬਦਲਾਵ ਤਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਲਿਆਂਦਾ ਹੈ but are the Vancouver Canucks, we saw in game 1 of the season 8-1 they had a 7-goal lead, they won by 7 goals. Are they good enough to make the playoffs?
Overreaction first weekend. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they are. I think they are. If they keep playing like this.
This road trip.
Oh, come on. Yeah, that's like what is that? If they keep playing like this, of course.
Yeah. If they keep scoring 8 goals every game. Thank you.
Not 8 goals. No, but aside from the goals, their defense looked really good. Like they played really good defensively against.
Yeah, ਮੁੰਡਿਓ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਗੇਮਾਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਰੋਡ ਟ੍ਰਿਪ ਆਉਣ ਲੱਗਾ ਵੈਨਕੂਵਰ ਕਨਕਸ ਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਗੇਮਾਂ ਹਾਰ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਪਿਛਲੇ 2-3 ਸਾਲ ਜੇ ਦੇਖੀਏ that's the story. They start playing catch up right away. They lose on the road trip. Big road trip. I know it's just the beginning of the season, 82 games. Sounds dramatic, but it's a very important road trip for them.
Yeah, and that Edmonton win, it's only one game, but ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਆਦਤਾਂ ਦਿਖਾਈਆਂ ਉਸ game 'ਚ, right? The habits, the aggressive forward check, playing really difficult, tough hockey to play against in the neutral zone. If they can keep that going, they're going to be competitive in most games.
Discipline too.
Right? Discipline is another thing. The PK is a lot better too. So, zipping through, that's one team. We're going to cover their matchup. Edmonton, Vancouver is the game 2 in our broadcast. ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦਿਖਾ ਦੇ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਅਤੇ ਮਿਨੇਸੋਟਾ ਦਾ ਮੁਕਾਬਲਾ ਕੁਝ ਮਿੰਟਾਂ 'ਚ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਪ੍ਰੀ-ਗੇਮ ਸ਼ੋ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਵੈਨਕੂਵਰ ਕਨਕਸ ਐਡਮਿੰਟਨ ਓਇਲਰਸ ਕੀ ਓਇਲਰਸ ਬਦਲਾ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਜੀ ਇਹ ਆ ਸਾਡਾ ਪ੍ਰੀ-ਗੇਮ ਸ਼ੋ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਆ ਜੀ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਵੈਰੀ ਮਚ ਅਗਲੇ ਹਫਤੇ ਵੀ ਇਸੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਮਿੰਟਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਲਾਈਵ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ omnitv.ca/hockey ਤੇ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਲੌਗ ਔਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ